Bitcoin futures, closed-end funds.
Importance of that.
I'll also say here, maybe just plugging our work a little bit.
Oh, that's a great question.
Hey there, future millionaires. Welcome back to the channel. It's so great to have you here with me today. I hope you're crushing it wherever you are in this amazing world of ours. Today, we need to talk about XRP. But first, I've got to share something that really got my attention. Stuart Alderati just dropped some serious truth, and here's what he said. For the second time in just a few weeks, the New York Times published yet another guest essay trying to paint crypto as nothing but a tool for criminals and corrupt people. Look, that's a convenient story to tell, but honestly, it's just lazy journalism and completely wrong. Here's the real deal. Crypto is being used by over 55 million Americans right now. And get this, more than 3/4 of them say it's actually improved their lives. They're using it to send money faster, prove ownership of their assets, and build incredible new types of businesses on completely transparent and traceable systems. Think about it. Corruption and crime don't usually happen out in the open where everyone can see, right? The truth they don't want you to know is this. Everyday Americans are using digital assets to save time, cut costs, and gain real financial freedom. That's what crypto actually does. It puts you on a direct path to financial independence. So why do they keep pushing this crypto equals crime narrative? Simple. They want to keep us trapped in the traditional banking system. They need us tied to those old school banks because here's the kicker. Nobody's getting rich by keeping their money in a savings account earning 0.5% interest. But crypto? That's where real wealth is being built every single day. All right, everyone, listen up because this is really important stuff we need to break down together. So here's what's happening. They're putting together national legislation that's specifically going after offshore companies that issue stablecoins in currencies that aren't local to where they operate. Now, why does this matter? Because it's creating some serious financial stability issues that regulators are finally starting to address. What they're really focused on is making sure that if you want to issue a dollar-based stablecoin in the United States, you need to be an onshore company, meaning you need to actually be based here in the US. Now, here's the key part that a lot of people don't realize. Tether. You know, that massive stablecoin that everyone's always talking about? Well, they're not actually located in the United States. They're completely offshore. And when she's talking about this issue, she's speaking directly about what could be an absolute disaster of a situation with this company. I mean, we're talking about a potential catastrophe here, folks. So let me play this clip for you because you need to hear exactly what she's saying about this.
Importance of that. So I think it's now important for the main regulators to have the same view after they take the step of putting in place national legislation.
Yeah, and of course the problem that they're sort of tackling there is different for different jurisdictions. For a lot of jurisdictions, they're tackling the problem of offshore issuers of non-local currency stablecoins, which is an entirely different sort of financial stability concern than an onshore issuer of a dollar-based stablecoin in the US. I'll also say here, maybe just plugging our work a little bit, the Atlantic Council is going to be doing quite a bit of work with the G20 and the upcoming presidency of the G20 on stablecoin standardization, harmonization across G20 member states, at least as a starting point to get standards to the same place.
Okay, so here's what's about to happen worldwide, and this is absolutely critical. We're going to see stablecoin regulations popping up everywhere. And guess what? Almost all of these new rules are going to look practically identical to MiCA regulations. Now here's where it gets really interesting and concerning. Tether already failed to meet MiCA's standards, right? So if they can't even pass MiCA, what are the chances they'll be able to handle similar regulations when other countries start rolling them out? Pretty slim, if you ask me. And that time bomb we keep talking about? It's still counting down, folks. This whole situation is far from over. In fact, it's just getting started as more and more countries jump on this regulatory bandwagon. The pressure is building, and something's gotta give eventually. The bubble's gone. What's left is opportunity. You gotta take a listen to Tom Lee here. Great question.
Oh, that's a great question. Maybe in some measurement ways, the bubble has burst anyways, don't you? I mean, if I don't have the numbers in front of me, but my guess is 80% of the debts are trading below net asset value now. So if that's not already a bubble burst in the sense that how would that bubble burst? Because, you know, like a crypto treasury shouldn't trade below NAV unless it was captively held crypto. Because, if you're a crypto treasury and you're trading below NAV, you can take action to restore your valuation. You can convert to an ETF. You could return all the crypto, so sell it and return cash, and people would come out ahead. So I think that, like, I'm not even sure I want to use the word bubble burst, but like I would say, is the market becoming discerning? I think it already has.
Hold up, hold up. I actually think we're looking at this completely wrong. I don't believe the bubble has burst yet. In fact, I think the real bubble pop is still coming. And it's going to happen when regulations finally hit the scene. And you know what? Brad Garlinghouse himself said that regulations could be the next black swan event. Think about why that is. Once we actually have proper regulations in place, it's going to level the playing field like we've never seen before. But here's the thing. Right now, we're still playing on a completely uneven field. Everything is still Bitcoin first, Bitcoin first. It's like, oh, let's give Bitcoin an ETF first. Let's try this new thing out with Bitcoin first. Let's see how Bitcoin handles it before we even acknowledge that there are other cryptocurrencies out there. It's honestly kind of crazy when you think about it. The market is still acting like Bitcoin is the only game in town, but that's all about to change. So no, the bubble definitely isn't gone yet. If anything, we're still inflating it, and the real pop is still coming down the road. But when that bubble finally pops, oh man, it's going to be absolutely brutal for the crypto space. We're talking about a massive shakeout that's going to separate the winners from the losers once and for all. Here's what's going to happen, though. Certain cryptocurrencies are going to rise from the ashes, and these are going to be the ones with real, actual value. The projects that solve genuine problems and have solid fundamentals. You know, this always happens eventually. Everything gets a level playing field sooner or later, and everything hits a bottleneck at some point. We saw it with the dot-com bubble back in the day, and we're absolutely going to see it happen with crypto too. But here's the thing. I think the crypto bubble is going to be way bigger than the dot-com crash. Why? Because it's not just going to be cryptocurrencies getting hit. We're talking about exchanges going down, stablecoins collapsing. We're going to see a massive amount of chaos happening in a very short time frame. But here's the exciting part. After all that dust settles and the bubble pops, we're most likely going to witness the rise of the Phoenix. And yes, XRP is definitely going to be part of that story, but it won't be alone. We're looking at a handful of cryptocurrencies that actually solve real-world problems. Speaking of opportunities, we're already seeing some interesting moves. Bitcoin ETF outflows are surging, and projects like Solana, XRP, and some emerging players are positioning themselves as the next potential 100 times opportunities. You know what's really interesting right now? The money is already starting to shift away from Bitcoin. I mean, everyone keeps saying, oh, the ETFs are going to get their second wind. Bitcoin's about to go absolutely parabolic again. And look, I do think Bitcoin has one last major run left in it before everything comes crashing down. But here's what I think is really happening with all this money flowing out of the ETFs right now. People are trying to get positioned for the next big opportunity. Think about it. Investors are looking at Solana, XRP, and we know HBAR is going to have an ETF coming too. There are going to be others following suit. The truth is, people are already looking past Bitcoin because they're starting to wake up to something important. Bitcoin is basically outdated technology at this point. And honestly, it gets pretty boring just buying something and holding it forever, hoping the price goes up. What people really want now is for their cryptocurrency to actually solve real problems. They want utility, they want innovation, they want projects that are building the future, not just digital gold sitting in a vault. That's why we're seeing this shift happening right now, and it's only going to accelerate from here. Here's something that happens in every single bull run, and if you've been in crypto long enough, you'll recognize this pattern. There's always a moment where fear absolutely peaks, the charts look completely broken, and everyone, and I mean everyone, is convinced it's all over. But here's the thing that most people miss. That's not actually the end. That's the reset. That's the market taking a deep breath before the next big move. Look at what happened this past week. It flushed out all the over-leveraged positions, completely wrecked people's confidence, and basically cleared the deck for much cleaner upside movement. It's exactly like watching the market take a huge inhale before exhaling into the next phase. And that's exactly what we're sitting here waiting for right now. We're waiting for that rebound to kick off in crypto, and honestly, I still believe we could see the very beginnings of that turnaround by the end of this month. There are even people out there saying XRP is going to print a brand new all-time high before October wraps up. Now, whether that happens or not, the point is that the optimism is still there, even after this recent shakeout. The stage is set, folks. The question is just timing. Justin, $11 trillion Charles Schwab says the interest in their crypto products is increasing with 90% more visits to their crypto site. Take a listen.
Yes, we've been active in both. So in crypto, we do offer crypto ETFs, Bitcoin futures, closed-end funds. In fact, our clients own 20% of all the crypto exchange-traded products in our country. So they've been very active. We've seen visits to our crypto site go up 90% in the last year. It's a topic that's of high engagement. And for privates, we have made private investments available to our clients. We've done through third-party managers like KKR and Apollo and folks like that. And we've also stood up a team of alternative experts. If you want to invest in alternatives at Schwab, you're going to need to talk to a professional and make sure they're right for you and to make sure you find the right strategy for you.
How much?
But here's what's really funny. They always love to tell their clients, oh, you know, crypto is super volatile. We're not sure if you really want to get into crypto right now. Classic move, right? But the reality is, Charles Schwab can see all the demand for crypto that's pouring in. They know what's happening. And it's the same story with all these other big institutions that were absolutely trashing crypto during the whole crackdown period. Now, all of a sudden, they're completely bullish on crypto. It's like they did a complete 180 overnight. But they still love to sell that volatility narrative to keep people scared. Here's what they don't want you to realize, though. That volatility they keep warning you about, that's exactly what's going to lead you to financial freedom. Think about it. Where do you think the big gains come from? Stable, boring 2% annual returns? No way. It's that volatility that creates the life-changing opportunities. Meanwhile, all these institutions are definitely lining up on the sidelines, getting ready to jump in themselves. They're telling you to be careful while they're quietly positioning themselves for the next big move. Pretty convenient, don't you think? Russia tops Europe in crypto adoption with $376.3 billion in transfers. What's driving the surge? Okay, this is absolutely massive news that everyone needs to pay attention to. Russia just had a $376.3 billion crypto surge. And this isn't just some random number. This is signaling a complete shift in how sanction-era finance is going to work. What's happening is that Moscow's big money players are making a major pivot. They're moving to DeFi protocols and stablecoin systems to handle their cross-border settlements. Basically, they're saying, forget the traditional banking system, we're going on-chain. And here's what I've been telling you guys all along. Every single country that's been hit with sanctions at some point is absolutely done with SWIFT. They're sick of it. They want a real alternative to the SWIFT system that can't be controlled or shut down by outside forces. And guess what's perfectly positioned to be that alternative? RippleNet and XRP. This is exactly what Ripple has been building toward this entire time, becoming the go-to solution for countries that need to move money across borders without relying on the traditional banking infrastructure. Russia's move here isn't just about them. It's showing the world what's possible, and other countries are definitely taking notes. If you don't buy, you'll miss out. Weimar vibes as Aussies line up to buy physical gold. I'm telling you right now, mark my words, you're going to see people literally lining up to buy XRP when it hits $5, when it crosses $10, and especially when it blows past $20. The FOMO is going to be absolutely insane. You know how it is, right? Most of you have probably tried telling your coworkers, your friends, your family, hey, you should really look into XRP right now. But what happens? Nobody wants to listen when XRP is sitting at 50 cents. Nobody's interested on a red day when everything's bleeding. And definitely nobody cares when XRP is just going sideways, doing absolutely nothing. But here's what's going to happen. The moment XRP's price starts going parabolic, suddenly everyone's going to need to have this cryptocurrency. They'll be buying it purely on the fear of missing out, even though they had years to get in at these prices. People always ask me, well, who's going to be crazy enough to buy XRP at $20 or even $100? And I'm telling you right now, there will be buyers at every single price level on the way up. Every single one. You think I'm crazy? Just wait and see. This is exactly how it always plays out. and XRP is going to be no different. The only question is, are you going to be one of the smart ones who got in early, or are you going to be part of the crowd chasing it at $50?
So here's something really interesting. Investors are making up the highest share of homebuyers in 5 years, according to CNBC. And if you're thinking about getting into real estate, or maybe buying your first house, I've got some advice that might surprise you. When it comes to real estate investing, I always tell people the smartest way to get in is through tokenization. Here's why this is so brilliant. You don't have to go through the hassle of buying an entire house. Instead, you could just buy maybe 10% of the tokens associated with a property and start earning passive income from it. But here's the beauty of it. Let's say the neighborhood changes, or the renter moves out, and you're not getting those returns anymore. You can easily pull out your investment and move it to a completely different property. You could even invest in commercial real estate through tokenization. It's incredibly flexible. Now, if you're planning to buy a house that you're actually going to live in, I definitely would not buy right now. I'd wait until the crash happens. That crash keeps getting delayed, but it's absolutely inevitable. It's coming. They're going to have to readjust real estate prices because right now, most people are completely priced out of buying a house. In the future, only people with serious money are going to be able to afford homes. And honestly, that's exactly what they want. It was always about you owning nothing and being happy. They want everyone to be lifetime renters. But here's the thing. Because of XRP and your other smart investments like XLM, XDC, HBAR, and others, you're going to be able to buy a house with cash when the time is right. Just remember this golden rule. Never buy at the top. Treat everything in life the way you treat crypto. Always buy the bottom and sell the top. That's how you win in any market. I thought this was absolutely brilliant because this doesn't just apply to Bitcoin. This applies to every single cryptocurrency you're invested in. If you've held through all of this chaos, you're an absolute legend. Seriously, if you've stuck it out through everything we've seen, you deserve major respect. Remember when we watched the breakout begin, even with XRP, and people immediately started saying, "Oh, the top's in, this run is almost over." But honestly, I think all XRP has done up to this point is just a correction. I don't even think the real run has started yet for XRP. But here's what's going to happen. You're going to watch the XRP chart start moving, and every single time it slows down and takes a quick breather, people are going to be screaming, "The top is in." They'll be telling you, "Take profit now! Sell everything! XRP is done!" Only to watch it go even higher. And I'm telling you, every time it pauses for even a few hours, people will panic. If it pulls back even slightly, "Oh, that's it! XRP is going to crash from here!" But you need to look at the bigger picture. What real-world events are happening at the same time? Are people still bullish about XRP? Are we waiting on another major catalyst? What do the inflows look like on the XRP ETFs? This cycle is completely different from every previous cycle. We didn't have ETFs back in 2021. We didn't have regulatory clarity coming. We didn't have ISO standards ready to go live. We didn't have Ripple possibly getting a banking license very soon, or a potential IPO in 2026. You've got to look at all these catalysts that could send XRP higher before you even think about selling. And honestly, I'm definitely continuing to hold most of my bag because I think we're about to see a run like we've never witnessed before. But everybody wants to be the person who called the top, right? It gives them bragging rights, some sort of credibility. "Oh, I called the top back in 2026. But here's the thing. You can see it for yourself. You don't need someone else to tell you whether the top is in or not. There are going to be so many obvious signs as we watch the price climb higher and higher. One major signal for XRP's top will be institutional adoption. After we see